woman says, "You've already arrived before you take a step." Well, that's deep. It's already explained before a word is said. Even if you keep on top of the situation with every move, and that would be extreme mindfulness, right? I mean, wonderful mindfulness, okay? If you keep on top of a situation with every move, moving, which is the aspiration of Theravadan Buddhism, keeping on top of a situation with it. Really, it's wonderful. He says, still you should know there's an opening higher beyond. Something higher beyond, just even that incredible moment-to-moment mindfulness. So I wanted to tell you. Friday I went to get in my car in a garage. I live in a condo building. I went and got in my car because I needed to go and do 2 or 3 things. So I start my car and I pull to the door and I get the garage thing and I push this thing and the door won't open. Well, that was not good. So I pushed it and I pushed it. It wouldn't open. I was not happy about that. So I got out and I walked to the door. And because there's an automatic button that you can push, even if your little remote doesn't work. And so I pushed that. It didn't go up. So here I am, stuck in I've got to be somewhere. I want to be. I had to go to the bank and do something. And so there I am stuck. So I thought, well, what the hell am I going to do now? I mean, the car's sitting there, and I can't get out. And so, but I hear some noise, and so I think, maybe there's someone who's attending to it, so I go outside, and sure enough, there's a big truck that's pulled in front on the other side of the garage door, and there's a guy that says, garage doors, something, whatever. I think, oh, good, and so I walk back in the building, and I go into the garage, and here's a little guy standing, he's back to me, and he's at the door. And I said, I thought, oh God. And so I said, could you? I said, do you know what the problem is? Well, his back went like this, and I thought, oh God. I mean, his whole body language was, don't give me any issues, right? And so he turned and he said, I just got here. So I said, I thought, I'd like to wring his little neck, but I was polite. I was actually pretty nice, and so I said, I was just wondering. I said, do you have any idea how long this will take? I mean, since my car's stuck here. He said, I told you I just got here. I have no idea how long this is going to take. So, I said, I didn't mean to be rude, and I mean, I was angry, but I was not impolite. I really was not. I got in my little car and I parked it back in the place, and so then I walked downtown, which was about it. And and I thought, if I waited, who knows? It probably was 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to have some thoughts in my head, aren't I? As I'm walking to town, right? I mean, what do you think my thoughts are going to be as I walk to town? Am I going to be singing like something from My Fair Lady, or what is the one I love is The Sound of Music. The hills are alive with the sound of music. The hells are alive with the sound of music. So I'm walking, and so it's to town. It's about a 30-minute walk, and so here comes the thought. Well, that son of a bitch, or whatever. Well, I don't. So it was really interesting, So there are like three. I think there's like three roads. I mean, the road maybe most traveled is that you don't do anything. You just indulge, right? I mean, that's certainly worth all the way down to the town, right? I mean, you could work that one for at least 30 minutes. Well, I was really nice. I didn't. I mean, really, and So you could work it that way. I mean, not work it, just simply sink into the movie, the dream. Right. I'm sorry, sir. I mean, yeah, sir, we've never had a customer swallow a pig. So you could really just get into that dream and whatever it is, right, and just go with it and indulge in it and feel whatever, victimized by it. Or you could take what I would say then would be a proactive thing, so a psychological approach. Psychological approach would be finding a grown-up. Finding a grown-up inside. Now, interestingly enough, this can be very much confused with, in my opinion, which is the only one you can really pay attention to right now because I've got the floor. You could send that person meta, love and kindness. I consider that psychological, and I consider that in a very, I mean, really a good thing. I mean, I'm not saying that, I mean, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, if you could, if you could get that far. But I mean, but it's, in other words, I mean, but that would be, in my opinion, finding your adult. Finding an adult inside that says, well, you know, he's probably had a bad day, Victor. He's probably, you know, if he's got that, you know, if it's so clear. I mean, I picked it up before he turned. I picked it up before he said a word. His back was aggressive. So you could say, he's had a bad day, you know, maybe a bad week. He may have a bad life. This may be a very miserable person. I mean, you could, you know, I mean, you could go in many different directions, but the direction would be to try to take the obsession out of your mind, right? Try to process it in some way. And I consider that psychological, and I consider that a really good thing. That's really almost, I don't mean this, I mean, it's somewhat what I would consider to be a Western approach. I mean, that is to say, an adult. As you all know, I mean, some people, you know, I mean, I consider the adult more a psychological Western I don't know what the word is. Well, it's really something that has come out of our Western psychology. The idea that you can create an adult that is rational and reasonable and kind. So, but I didn't do that one. So I went with the third option, which I would consider to be what I will call metaphysical. I don't know what we call it. Recognizing that it was just a thought. Now that's hard to do. That's very hard to do. Let's see if I can find this. I had the two things. The other one, I probably can find it because it's right here. In an instant of thought, survey measureless eons. The affairs of measureless eons are very present. Well, that's right now. See through this instant of thought, and you see through the person now seeing. I want to read it again. Right now, see through this instant of thought, and you see through the person now seeing. What do you see when you see through the person now seeing? You see that person is a fabrication. You see that it's all a fabrication. The person who was in the meat shop looking at the was a fabrication of the mind. So the thought walking down the street, if I got into this whole thing of, well, whatever, and certainly if I got the adult going, sending him loving kindness, it's still a fabrication. It's still a thought, and it's still, in my opinion, not truly letting go. Not truly letting go. To have the ability to wake up in any moment, to wake up, which it seems to be, in my opinion, a relentlessly endless affair. I mean, waking up is something that we need to do moment by moment. But I want to tell you, I mean, it is really true. I mean, I don't know. I think that it's only because I've been sitting for quite a while, so maybe I have a little bit more mojo going than I would ordinarily have. But I mean, I mean, it never came back. It was just gone. It never came back. I mean, it was just ridiculous, right? I mean, I just saw that I could have spent, it was not real. It was just simply the same thing as a dream at night. Just a dream. Just thoughts. So, I wanted to say that this has been, I've heard a number of really interesting and kind emails from people who've been reading the Dharma Corner, because the past two Dharma Corners have really been basically about that, right? About seeing thought and seeing through thought. We are captured, we are captivated, we are caught by this, whatever it says. I'm stupid, I'm pretty, I'm old, I'm bad, I'm unhappy. Everyone in here has a default. Every person in this room has your own basic, tape that runs, right? Is there anybody who doesn't have a tape that runs? I am, right? I mean, everyone has a basic default. And some of you, it's nice, right? Praise the Lord, right? I mean, some of you have it's a kind of a nice one, right? So it's just benign, Well, I'm all right. I mean, that's a hell of a lot better than a lot of people I know. Well, I'm not so wonderful, but I'm okay. I mean, I would go for that. Because I know people, I know people who have just terrible I mean, I just got one this morning. An email, just terrible. He feels that he's a bad person. He feels bad. He feels, that he has bad, and he's a really good person, right? I mean, I know, but that story in the head is that he's a bad person. So I can't think of. I'm getting ready to say something profound, Carla. Are you ready? This is going to be. This is going to be real profound. But I'm just kidding. I can't think of anything in my life, of all the years that I have lived on this planet, I can't think of anything that would free you more than just the ability to see that it is a thought. It's astounding. And we walk around, and I keep saying it over and over and over, right? And people keep hearing it over. But it's hard to get it. It's hard to get it. That, as the T-shirt says, that we have been selling, and by the way, if anyone wants to buy one, they're only $20. I think we're out of them, actually. It's your mind stupid, right? That's what it says. It's your mind stupid, which maybe is too extreme. It's the mind. It's the mind. And we just thought, where does it come from? It's the mind. And ironically, to embrace the mind, to embrace that reality, it's not like, oh, my mind's a problem. No. My mind is the key that will unlock the door and allow me to walk away from suffering. It's the mind that, the Buddha said that, right? He said it. Your mind is, your body is not what's going to, become enlightened. It's the mind, right? It's the mind. It's the mind. And we have this tremendous, resistance. We cling to this idea that I am separate from, I am not my mind, I am not my thoughts, I am this observer, right, who's looking at all these horrible or funny or crazy. I'm this observer. We have, and that creates this, and Christian Murray said this over and over and over. This creates a separation. There's me and there's my mind, right? My name is Lisa, and then I have this mind that I walk around with. It's not true. Lisa is her mind. I'm sorry, And that just, for some reason, people used to refer to me as Victor the Brain. When I found that so insulting in college, because I was fairly smart. I wasn't, but people would refer to it and say, he's a brain, and I just would be so insulted by that. I think, how dare they say that? And now I think, well, it's true. It's the tiger, the truth. Right? It is actually a brain. It's a brain, and so you could say that maybe one is more than that or less than that. I don't care. But the point is, the degree to which we separate out and disown that, and say that, So I look at that thought, No, sir, we've never had a customer that has swallowed a pig. This said that. It didn't come from anywhere else. This said that. And it can say, it can think the most sublime things, it can think the most terrible things. But meditation is about watching it, being with it, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. Not losing it, not separating from it, not going to sleep, not getting lost in thoughts, watching it, staying with it. And that's what the Zen people are saying over, endlessly. Stay with the essence, stay with that which is there before you say a word, that which is there before you open your mouth, that which is there before anything, the absolute essence of what we are.